think we are back at another Lao border crossing. It still doesn't look very busy. Crossing borders is never straightforward. Well, occasionally it is quite straightforward. We're going into Laos again, as I've done previously, but this is the first time at this crossing, which is not far from the large Isan town in Thailand called Ubon Ratchathani. So Laos is, I think we're virtually in it now, but there's a passport control that I have to go to, which I'm looking for. They just said the big building. Got it? Clearly, this is a town where a number of nationalities have mixed over a long time. Chinese, of course, are here and, as always, run restaurants and have other businesses that are all flourishing, it would seem. And this is the early, indeed old area of Pakse. There's a nice little river just up there called the Say River that flows into the Mekong at this point. And it's a popular term in both Thailand and Laos to call the entrance to a laneway or to the exit of a river like that, Pak as in mouth. So the mouth of the river is how this nice area here got its name, Pakse in Laos. And this is why the old town started here beside the River Say and has now expanded into those very interesting new areas that are quite monumental at times. The old area has the charm of a much earlier era. It has a strong French influence, as often occurs here in Laos. And a number of these buildings in this particular part of the old town, I think, are very charming and attract visitors who also like some of the cute little restaurants to be had around here. You wouldn't believe it. The first people I've spoken to in this part of Laos, two Australians who also lived in Melbourne where I did. But you're here under a different form of steam altogether, aren't you? How are you getting around in Laos?
We're getting around by bicycles.
Our trusty giants, brought from Melbourne.
So those are two Australian bikes, are they, that you've been riding around Laos, quite extensively? About how far?
We've ridden about 400 kilometres, ridden from Vientiane to 130 k's south of Luang Prabang.
Up very steep hills.
Whose idea was it?
It was his idea, and I didn't want to get left alone at home, so I came along, and it's better than Jenny Craig, I can tell you. I think I've lost 5 kilograms in 2 weeks. Notice?
Yes, look at that.
Honestly, I have had no carbohydrates, rice, no bread, or beer. Is beer a carbohydrate?
Probably.
It's not bread.
We must see you off now to your next journey, which is all the way to where?
To Champasak today. That's about 36 kilometres from where we are now in Pakse.
Yeah, from Pakse to Champasak today. It's quite a long way, but they're doing it in one hit today.
It's flat.
Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I hope it's flat.
Thanks.
This comes as something of a surprise, I have to say. This bridge across the Mekong here in Laos. Yes, there are others. But this one was quietly built back in 2000, apparently, and was more or less a gift from the Japanese government to the Laotian government, and it's called the Lao-Nippon Bridge. It's in a very useful spot, and it means that people coming here can also stay at grand hotels that sprang up in the immediate vicinity. The Champasak Grand Hotel is right there. It would have been a prized possession, I'm sure, from the day it opened. And across the water here, across the Mekong, which is extremely broad at this point, is still Laos. So today, coming through the checkpoint, one walked from Thailand into Laos, and then of course it's a car trip to the city itself, Pakse. It's a very interesting spot. Part of it is very old, and that to me is always very interesting. There are nice little restaurants there where I see travellers are already aware of good food to be had. There are some extraordinary new buildings going up, which can only be described as palaces. I must show you one from a distance at the very least. Clearly, again, we see that Laos is on the map, especially where visitors are concerned from, I would think, many countries. And there's that delightful Laotian air. The atmosphere that you feel when you get to this nation is quite delightful. It's really extraordinary, and I think a great attraction, part of the great attraction of being in the Laotian nation. This is an extraordinary building, isn't it? And I understand it was pretty much built as a private residence, private palace perhaps. But under a previous regime, not the present Democratic Republic regime, of course, an earlier government where excesses were rather more readily permitted, it would seem. It's a local landmark, needless to say. It's now a hotel, and really a rather beautiful one. And because of all of those arches and so on, which are nicely lit at this time of the evening, it's known locally in Pakse by the Laotian people as the 1,000 Window Hotel. So this is the new room in a brand new guest house, somewhere different to stay when you're in this part of Laos, which is an increasingly important country to visit. So many people who are a little bit adventurous like to come to this part of the world, and to find really agreeable accommodation like this in a guest house on the edge of town, not far from the market or the bus station, could be just about perfect for a good many people, I think. I think that many people coming to stay here at this guest house will be delighted not only by their rooms, the accommodation generally, but the fact that it's a very convivial place. They've created this wonderful building, which is in the style of early Laotian homes, with a lot of bamboo and breezes flowing through it. And it's ideal for a get-together before or after dinner, with cool drinks and wonderful views and breezes as well. Here in Pakse, Laos, an ideal place to stay for many people coming to this very interesting part of the world. A name to remember, Xuanmai Guest House.
Xuanmai is a Vietnam name because my family are from Vietnam, and Xuanmai is the name of the New Year. That we can see the flower in the New Year. This name is Mai, and Xuan is the meaning of the season. So Xuanmai is a New Year season.